My name is Mark Schmucker, and the name of our company is MAS Construction.
My name is April Schmucker, and we are the owners of MAS Construction.
I know one thing I try to do, definitely be on time and on budget without a question. If I tell a client this is what they're going to be getting, then I very hard try to get that for them. I just think it's integrity. I try to do what I say. I want that for the client.
So one of the things that makes us different is the materials that we use. We use locally sourced materials. We make sure that they have a really good warranty that goes along with that. And the way that we build our buildings ensures that that warranty is something that the client can use if necessary. We also use Amish crews, and they're very fast. They know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a really long time. So we ensure that they have a very high quality build for a very reasonable price.
More than anything, we provide buildings. I provide, whether it's detached or attached garage buildings. We have done home additions, and more than anything, that's what we do is we focus on outbuildings, garages, barns, things of that nature.
So the main things that we focus on here at MAS are garages, barns, sheds, and pavilions. We like to try to stay in that niche because it gives us the ability to really provide our clients what they're looking for in that specific arena.
Well, the first thing I would encourage people to do is get a hold of MAS Construction, and then I would put together an assessment. I would meet with them and see what they're looking for, if I can provide that need to meet the zoning regulations and things of that nature. And so yeah, just get a hold of us, and then I meet with them and we can discuss what they're looking for.
So the first step is definitely either to reach out via our website or to give us a call, and then from that we proceed with discovering what it is that you're looking for. Do you want a garage? Do you want a barn? What's the scope of your project? And then we will go through and do a rendering for them so that they can kind of see what that project's going to look like. It helps them to get perspective of what it is that they're actually looking for.
I know one of the big things that I get encountered with a lot is like, are you going to be there, and things of that nature, because a lot of people I meet with, they were supposed to meet with another company and then they just went MIA. They don't reach back. They don't know. They just ghost them. It's terrible.
So a frequently asked question is, what do we do now? Like, we have this idea that we want to move forward with, but we don't know how to proceed. And so that's one of the things that we strive to offer here, is that we walk you through every step of the process so that nothing's a mystery. We stay in communication with all of our clients so they know exactly where we are in the planning stages. In particular, when we're pulling permits, that can be a lot of back and forth with different building departments, and we take care of all of that. We are a small family-owned company that strives for excellence every single time. We're very much pursuing integrity for multiple reasons. We feel like our clients deserve it, but also it leads back to our faith. You know, we want to make sure that we are doing right by the people that we are hired.
Hey, I tell clients, I want you to have a good experience. I don't want you to have a bad experience with this whole process from the very first day we meet. I want a good experience for them.
We would have, on average, 1 to 2 a week, and I mean, we're getting what?
3 to 4 days.
Yeah, I mean, it's just astronomical how many more there are. Now, they are a little bit harder to close in that the people don't know us, but sending them the testimonials and all of those things have really made a difference.
We were doing well by all means, but I'm getting older, and and I hearing all the results that you guys produce, and I'm like, why not me? And it's fantastic is what it is. There's lots and lots of leads. My phone goes nuts. Mark Schmucker with MAS Construction.
My name's April Schmucker, and I work for MAS Construction.
All right, now I'm going to pull up your website so people can follow along at home and check out what we're doing here. That's masconstructionllc.com.
Mostly we're doing garages. I focus on outbuildings more than anything, whether it's detached or attached. We have we've done barns and larger buildings for that matter. And but mostly we just focus on garages. It's just a quick in, out. It's good turnaround.
like Mark said, mostly we were a referral business before. And so the leads are great. It's a little bit of a different beast in that they're not people that we know. So it's a completely cold market that we're dealing with sales. So that produces its own challenges, but at the same time, it gives us the opportunity to then spread the news about what we do and how well we do it. So it's been really great.
And it definitely helps out a lot to be more systematic. And that's just the start of where I want it to be. I want it to be like you guys have in place. I can give this to someone and here, follow this, and that's the end result. Same as a blueprint. All your answers should be on the blueprint. There shouldn't be having to ask any questions. And that's what I'm striving for, and that's what I want, because I can't do everything. Fantastic. Now I just have to find out a way to get more time out of the day, because it's a good problem. Carter was telling us that, but it's I never had a website. I did everything word of mouth. Why wait? I mean, that was me for the longest time, and finally I'm like, I'm just done with this. I pulled over to the side of the road. I know exactly where I was, and I'm like, it was winter, and I'm like, I want to thrive. I see all these people thriving. Why can't it be me? And I'm like, well, I'm going to call them once. And so I did. And I encourage anyone that's looking, like, and not just do I want, financial freedom, which we're doing okay, but I also want time freedom. And if this is ability to produce time and money, then why not? Or at least just call and try it.
Well, folks, on today's show, we have a wonderful opportunity to introduce you to a wonderful couple. What? This is a wonderful couple. They have a wonderful business. I'm using the word wonderful a lot. And they're experiencing wonderful growth as a result of being diligent. And if you're out there today and you're feeling the slight bit discouraged, I want to leave you with encouragement, empowerment, and specifically walk you through steps that you too can implement if you want to achieve the kinds of results that today's guests, Mark and April, are receiving and with their business. Mark, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
Good to be here.
Now, Mark, for anybody out there who may wonder if you're a hologram, what's your first and last name, and what's the name of your company, sir?
My name is Mark Schmucker with MAS Construction.
And Mark, who's this wonderful woman next to you here on video?
That is my wife, April, that I have been blessed with, and she's helped me out a lot.
Now, April, for anybody out there that's not familiar with you, just to prove you're not a hologram, could you share with us your first and last name and the name of your company?
My name's April Schmucker, and I work for MAS Construction.
All right, and I'm going to pull up your website so people can follow along at home and check out what we're doing here. That's masconstructionllc.com. Mark, I'll start with you. If you could tell us a little bit here, what services do you guys provide with your company, masconstructionllc.com?
Mostly we're doing garages. I focus on outbuildings more than anything, whether it's detached or attached. We have we've done barns and larger buildings for that matter. And but mostly we just focus on garages. It's just a quick in, out. It's good turnaround.
Now, you guys seem to be very normal people. April, how would you describe yourselves? I mean, you seem very normal. I think a lot of people feel like, man, I can't have success because I'm not like April. I'm not like Mark. I don't have what it takes. How would you describe your role in the business?
So my role is mainly administrative. I do a lot of the office work and the financials. I work in taxes as well as work with MAS. So I'm a homeschooling mom. So we have a lot going on here at the house.
And Mark, how would you describe your role with the business?
At this point here, more than anything, I am just conducting it, like with sales. I'm just doing a lot, meeting the clients and all that stuff, which I really enjoy. I mean, there's a large spectrum of people that you meet, good or bad, but mostly it's dealing with the people.
And if you had to clarify, Mark, what you do or what industry you're in, would you call it home remodeling or home building, or how would you describe what you do?
I don't exactly know, because mostly I did a lot of home building, but it's I just kind of got out of that. It's too many things, and and I just focus on easier, like in, out. So I guess a builder more than anything.
Now, April, how did you first come in contact with our team here? How did you first hear about the Thrivetime Show team?
So that's kind of a funny story. I first heard about you when Mark said, oh, by the way, I set us up with an interview with Clay Clark. And I was like, what? Who is that? And so I hadn't heard of Thrivetime. Mark he's on the road a lot with meeting clients, and so he listens to your show. I am not a podcast listener, and so it's like, you've got to hear what this guy has to say. And I was like, oh, okay. And from my background, I did marketing for another business. And so I was like, well, I can do all of that stuff. And it's like, but if you don't have to, when you already have so much on your plate, wouldn't it be awesome to have someone else take that?
Now, I have a homework assignment for you, April, and you can please feel free to rebuke me, but this is a fun family homework project, okay? I just put out a show, and I think you'll like this show. I can't say you'll like other shows, but I think you'll like this show. This is one I just interviewed a guy named Randy, who he and his wife, they bought a former abandoned amusement park so they bought what was once a former amusement park on a lake, and they renovated it into one of the most successful Colorado-style mountain wedding venues in America. It's awesome. It's in Oklahoma. And I interview him about it. So if you are going to watch one show, April, that's the one that I would encourage you to watch. Okay, so you can feel free to reject me there. Now, as far as growing your company, I wanted to just unpack the things that we're doing that it's producing results. First thing, Mark, it appears as though we're now generating some website leads for you, whereas in the past you were not getting internet leads, or maybe that's wrong. Could you maybe describe the impact that having a proven search engine system and team working for you has made on your business?
Fantastic. Now I just have to find out a way to get more time out of the day, because it's a good problem. Carter was telling us that, but it's I never had a website. I did everything word of mouth, and we were doing well by all means, but I'm getting older, and and I hearing all the results that you guys produce, and I'm like, why not me? And it's fantastic is what it is. There's lots and lots of leads. My phone goes nuts.
How would you describe, April, your perspective to the leads that you're now receiving?
I would say, like Mark said, mostly we were a referral business before. And so the leads are great. It's a little bit of a different beast in that they're not people that we know. So it's a completely cold market that we're dealing with sales. So that produces its own challenges, but at the same time, it gives us the opportunity to then spread the news about what we do and how well we do it. So it's been really great.
Now, this might just be my perception, but you're so freaking likable, you guys. You're so nice. You're so kind that I feel like the cold leads will turn into word of mouth. Maybe I'm wrong. Mark, have you seen that yet, where you've had a cold lead and then it's turned into a referral of a warm lead?
For sure. I do have that. I mean, I don't have nothing where I set it in, but I do get referrals. It just, and I'm thinking of this one client, it was all off of a sign. Then I got this person, then this person. And to this day, I've done a couple 100,000 with them, with this client, all off of referrals and leads. It definitely grows.
Now, let's get into how we do that. What I try to do for wonderful clients like you, because I know you're homeschooling. I know by the way, we have 5 kids and my wife homeschooled too, so I get that energy. I understand the urgency of making sure your kids grow up to love the Lord and know how to read and do math. And so I get the urgency of that. So I try to build a system that is turnkey, that's duplicatable, that's repeatable, that requires minimal thought and maximum results. Mark, I want to get your thoughts on this, because I see a lot of people that have successful internet marketing programs in place, but it requires them to take a lot of steps and to do a lot of the work. Could you talk about the turnkey nature, or the lack thereof of the turnkey nature of the system that we've been teaching you guys?
I definitely like it. And I was even telling April, like, a lot of this stuff here, like, it's all in my head. I couldn't just have someone just do this here, because I have to make it systematic. And already with April's help and yourself, like let's say I go to Cleveland for the day. I try to do it just a day instead of every day one appointment. Book it all in one day, be more time efficient, and it definitely helps out a lot to be more systematic. And that's just the start of where I want it to be. I want it to be like you guys have in place. I can give this to someone and here, follow this, and that's the end result. Same as a blueprint. All your answers should be on the blueprint. There shouldn't be having to ask any questions. And that's what I'm striving for, and that's what I want, because I can't do everything.
If you had to describe the amount of leads you're getting now versus the number of leads you used to get off the website there, Mark, how would you describe that?
I don't even know how you're putting percentage. April would tell it's.
We would have on average 1 to 2 a week, and I mean we're getting what,
3 to 4 days.
yeah, I mean, it's just astronomical how many more there are. Now, they are a little bit harder to close in that the people don't know us, but sending them the testimonials and all of those things have really made a difference.
How old's your oldest kid there, April? You'd probably know this more than Mark. I'm just kidding. How old's your oldest kid?
No, you're not.
So my oldest son is 21.
Okay. Well, okay. So I want you to see if you can connect with me on this. We have 5 great kids, and my son is graduating from high school next week, you know?
Yeah.
And so you know the mom emotion where you're excited, but you're also kind of sad or whatever that is, you know? And so like my wife is like just seconds away from crying at all times. Any moment, she's like, oh, it's so good. But, you know, his last band performance, tears. Last day of school, normal school, tears. And so we're having his graduation event tomorrow. And my wife doesn't know this, but hopefully she won't hear the show until later. But I called her best friend from college, and she lives in Florida now. I said, Sharita, you got to fly out. You got to be here. You got to be here. You got to assist my wife with this graduation party thing because it's starting to wear me out a little bit. And I knew that my wife doesn't know yet. She doesn't know, but her best friend's flying in here in like an hour. But I know my wife's best friend, and I know the relationship they've had since college. And I already know that those two are going to click, and Sharita's going to help my wife with all of the graduation details, and all of a sudden it'll be a breath of fresh air. She'll be relieved. And I know that, and people that know Sharita know that, but you guys are hearing this name for the first time, and I think a lot of customers feel the same way. It's like, right. I have massive confidence in a woman named Sharita being my wife's best friend. It's going to be great. But if I were to tell you, you know, Sharita's the best thing ever, you'd be like, who is Sharita? Do we have some references? Why are we? And I think people forget we're dealing with other people that have the same concerns that we have before buying something. Could you talk about the social proof, April, and the impact that you've seen it's made, the impact you've seen it's make in your husband's ability to sell, having testimonials, video reviews, video testimonials, Google reviews? Could you talk about the impact you've seen it make in his sales?
Yeah, so kind of like what Mark was saying with our that particular client, one of the reasons why they want to go with us is they like what they see on the Google reviews. We've got all 5-star reviews. We really strive to do everything possible to get those, you know, when we get a review, to make sure that it is 5-star by showing up on time, making sure that we're communicating with the clients effectively, and doing exactly what we say we're going to do on their invoice. And, you know, that's how you get a good review, by doing what you promise. And so having that as our, you know, a source of integrity for people to look at and say, you know what, these guys seem like they really back up what they're saying. It's not just a pie in the sky promise. And I think that really has led to a lot of our web leads. They look at our Google page and then they find our website from that, and then they contact us to do a job.
Now, Mark, eventually someone has to buy something, you know, so once we generate leads, I always tell people, they say, what do you do as a business coach? Well, step one is we got to do marketing, or you might call that offense. We have to generate leads, and branding, marketing, logos, photography, video, web, all that stuff can be called offense. That's generating leads. However, the second phase of this is you're going to have to eventually sell something. Somebody has to buy something. Could you talk about any of the sales systems? I know we now have reviews we can show people. We have testimonials we can show people. We're gathering more and more examples of our work to show people. Could you talk about any of these sales systems that you're now using that has helped you, Mark, close more deals?
So I'm hearing that from a lot of clients, because I asked them, like, well, how'd you hear from me or whatever? And they Google search Garage Builder because it's a market out there for it.
So we're coming up now, top of the search results. People find you. That's step one. We got to get in front of people. Step two, they got to check you out, research you, ultimately buy something. And I want to talk about this idea here of just consolidating your time, or time management. As you know, as your wife knows here, because April, as a mom who homeschools, you're officially the hardest working woman in America. If you want the hardest job ever, do the whole mom thing. Plus homeschool. I'm just telling you. So you understand the importance of time management. Could you talk about some of the time management or calendar consolidation that you've seen Mark implement over these past few months?
Yeah. So when Mark, you know, when we first started this year, pretty much if he got a lead, he's a little bit hyper. And so as soon as he'd get a lead, he would be like, okay, I'm coming to see you. And realizing that when you have so many leads, you really do have to narrow it down if you're going to have any family time. So like he had said, we pick a day a Cleveland day, and he goes and he meets anywhere from 5 to 10 clients in that one day, and looks at all of their jobs. So that way we're not constantly running up to Cleveland. And then the other thing that we've done is he has to have time in the office, where he used to run the crews and he would be out on the job site. Now he's subcontracting out, and so he has to have office time. So he takes the time in the morning, from 5 to 7 in the morning. So that's really helped with managing all of the permits and everything that has to be done, kind of behind the door, as far as all of the estimates, the drawings, the calculations for materials. Going ahead and having a designated time for that has made a huge difference.
Final two questions I have here for you, Mark. For anybody out there that's on the fence, I mean, the whole joy of what I love doing is I love helping people like April. I love helping people like you because I know you got a great family. So I look at what we do as a real shalom. It's a win-win where the customer, our client, wins, and then theoretically we win. So I don't hide it. We charge people $1,700 a month, which is a little bit less than the typical personal trainer, but a little bit more than it is an investment, and we make a 20% margin. We make $340 a month profit, and we do photography and video and web and search engine and all that. We also do conferences to help really educate and inspire. But how would you describe the impact that one-on-one coaching has made, Mark, in your business and in your family?
Well, for sure, it holds you accountable. I mean, and I think of what's Carter's first words going to be? My coach is like, what are your wins? And I'm like, well, I better get some wins. And it causes me to think and push myself a little bit more. Like, not that I wouldn't before, but I'll get that, but I'd be procrastinating. I'll get to that, no big deal. And it really isn't, but it also is a big deal because it holds me accountable to do what's needed. And I like it. As much as it may be some new stuff that I'm uncomfortable with, it's a good thing for growth.
Now, April, I'm not putting words in your mouth, so feel free to rebuke me again. My only video I recommend you watch is that Five Oaks video. I think you'll. I have one of my clients. His wife does not watch our show, but she said that video was so encouraging. So it's hopefully you like it. But I hear a lot from our clients and their spouses. So if I'm working primarily with the female, I'll hear from the husband from time to time. They'll go, "Man, my wife's schedule is much more productive." Or I'll hear from the wives. They'll say, "My husband's schedule is more productive." Have you seen an impact? Or what kind of impact have you seen the coaching make in your husband's life? It could be bad, it could be good, it could be neutral. I don't know.
I'd say that the biggest thing is that it's caused him to kind of think outside of his normal role, and just, where he's very focused on getting the job started. It's kind of made him have to stop and look at, well, if I hire someone to do this, what do I need to do? They would need to have certain systems set in place. And so it's kind of forced him into more of an administrative mindset of, how do I make this repeatable? How do I make it a program that can be repeatable by someone else, versus him just being a lone ranger and doing it all on his own?
This is powerful. I'm taking notes because the repeatable thing is a big thing. Building your business to be repeatable. Mark, final question for you, and then I'll let you go. I'll stop interrogating you. What do you say to anybody who's kind of on the fence of scheduling a 13-point assessment, or was thinking about taking action?
Why wait? I mean, that was me for the longest time, and finally I'm like, I'm just done with this. I pulled over to the side of the road. I know exactly where I was, and I'm like, it was winter, and I'm like, I want to thrive. I see all these people thriving. Why can't it be me? And I'm like, well, I'm going to call them once. And so I did. And I encourage anyone that's looking, and not just do I want, financial freedom, which we're doing okay, but I also want time freedom. And if this is ability to produce time and money, then why not? Or at least just call and try it.
Thank you, one, for homeschooling your kids.
Yeah.
I mean it, because when we do job interviews, I don't ask people, "Hey, were you homeschooled?" I don't ask people that, but I'll tell you this: they'll tell me. They'll go, "Yeah." When they shadow and when they come to work here, they'll eventually tell me. And we had an interesting moment. It was about a year ago, and our staff was talking. I was listening, and the vast majority of our employees at that time were homeschooled. And I never had that. I didn't ask that question, but it was that the critical thinking skills were so high, the ability to connect with other adults, the ability to get things done, time management. So again, thank you guys for what you're doing with your kids. Thank you for what you're doing with your business. And thank you for carving out time for us today. I really do appreciate you both.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Ladies and gentlemen, on today's show, we're interviewing a man who builds houses that I would like to live in. I mean, every time I talk to this guy, I find myself wanting to buy one of the houses that he builds. He builds these beautiful houses, and he builds houses in a part of the country where you typically build these houses on stilts almost. The houses appear to be on stilts. It blows my mind every time I look up his projects. They're really beautiful vacation properties, and I can't wait for you to learn more about his business. It's called thornhillconstruction.com, thornhillconstruction.com. Jason Thornhill, welcome onto the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Thanks, Clay. Great to be with you, man.
So tell us real quick, how did you initially get in contact with us, or how did you and I first connect?
Back in late 21, my wife was listening. She's an avid podcast listener, and you were a guest on something she was listening to at the time. And she listened to the whole thing and immediately called me and said, "Hey, there's a guy that's got like almost the same story as you that kind of reminded me of you. Let's call him." So, okay, well, what are we calling him for? So, well, he coaches and teaches businesses how to do more of what we're trying to do. We need to call him. I said, okay, well, let's call him. So we, went through the forums and sent the email out, said, hey, we'd love to talk to you. And, within a day or two, we had a phone conversation set up for first thing a Sunday morning. And you and I met, and we were thinking the same thing and talking the same thing. We just didn't quite know how to do what was next. So you guys put me on path for helping to grow the business. And that was back in 2021. So been a good while now.
Have you had any growth? Are you getting any online leads now, or how's it going?
The leads are good. We had a pretty decent web presence even when we started, but we've definitely increased that, grown that, put some new life in the website. Leads are good. Leads are solid. I'm greedy, so I could take more, but it's good. We've definitely experienced a lot of growth over these several years for sure.
Now I got to ask you, with your business, because I talked to a lady the other day. She said, Clay, I'm coming to your conference, and I'm coming to the Reawaken reunion event. And I said, I always ask people, well, where are you from? And she said, well, I'm from, and I'm going, where did you say you're from? And it reminded me of your keyword, which is kind of crazy because that's how I think about things. So I go, right. You're from where? She said, Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. And I'm going, really? I said, we work with a wonderful builder in that area. Anyway, long story short, tell the listeners out there, where are the areas geographically that you typically build homes in?
So we try to focus all of our efforts along the entire Mississippi Gulf Coast. So that's an area that spans about 25 miles along the Gulf of Mexico, Mississippi Sound. So that's Bay St. Louis, certainly, which is our offices in Bay St. Louis. That's our strong suit. We do a lot in the Bay. Waveland is an adjoining town. Then we have Pass Christian, Long Beach, Gulfport, Biloxi, Ocean Springs. So all the little towns that hover right along the coast is where our strongest presence is at. So it's a big market, but it's mostly along the actual coast, waterfront homes, that first block off the beach. The Mississippi Gulf Coast has the longest man-made beach in the world. So we got 26 miles of man-made beach, and we've taken advantage of every single inch of it. So
let's walk our listeners through this a little bit here. So if I go to Google and I type in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi home builders, There we go. We find your website. We find you up in those search results. And if I'm familiar with the area, I'm going to click on maps just so I can get myself more familiar with the area. And maybe you could kind of make like a good weather guy and kind of point out what we're looking at here. So tell us, where's this area that you're building primarily? Like where's a lot of your building taking place for people who are not familiar with the area?
Right. So that body of water, that pocket of water that you see right in the center of your screen, that's the Bay of St. Louis. So Bay St. Louis is the town to the west of that, or on the left side of your screen, all along those coastal towns. So you've got Bay St. Louis right there where your cursor's at. And then working to the east, you cross that bridge and you've got Pass Christian, which is another great coastal town. And then if you continue to the east, you hit Long Beach, and then Gulfport, which is the second largest city in the state, is probably more recognizable to people outside of the area. Then you head over to Biloxi, probably another recognizable town. It's a big casino town.
Yeah.
So that's our strong suit. But we're only 45 minutes east of New Orleans. So a large portion of our traffic is, if you scroll over, if you head just west a little bit, you're in New Orleans. So
Wow.
we're the coastal towns that we're all talking about, Bay St. Louis, Waveland, Pass Christian. We are the getaway for the New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Slidell, all of those markets. They drive just 45 minutes down the road, and they're in our market. So
Wow.
we've got some things to offer over here that New Orleans just doesn't have, and it's a heavy weekend getaway.
Now, for people out there that aren't familiar with the process of working with you, my wife and I have had the pleasure of building a lot of things throughout our lifetime, homes and buildings and vacation properties and these sorts of things. So I'm kind of familiar with the process of building, but a lot of people might not be. Somebody might go to thornhillconstruction.com. They go there, they look around at the different gallery and the different homes, and then they might go, man, that just seems overwhelming. Walk us through kind of the step 1, 2, 3 if somebody out there is saying, hey, I'm looking for a vacation property or maybe another home. What is the process like of working with you guys over there at thornhillconstruction.com?
So first off, I would tell somebody the process is super simple. It could be difficult, I guess, if you let it, but with us, it's super simple. Number one, you contact us in whatever method you want, and we're going to ask just a couple of simple questions. Like number one, do you own property in the market already? And if not, we're going to send you down a route that we help you secure the property, find out what your needs are, what you're trying to do, and get that part solved. Number two, if we answer that question with, yes, I have a piece of property, but I don't have any plans. We have a simple solution for that. We've got numerous plans that we've developed and built over the years that may be of interest to you. We share those with you and perhaps sit you down with our design team, and maybe we're altering those plans or making some slight modifications, or maybe we got a plan that just hits all the needs that you're looking for.
Let's say right now that I'm, you're a potential buyer, and maybe we're doing our first call right now via Zoom. How do you go about selecting the lot, and what kind of price range are we talking about for these beautiful homes that you guys are building? Really, I mean, within just a short walk of the water. What kind of price range, and what does the process look like of selecting an actual lot with you guys?
Yeah, so just looking at that picture that you're looking at right now on the screen, if I were to show you something like that, I would say there are literally dozens and dozens of vacant lot properties that are not necessarily on the bay, but right off of the bay. Price ranges on those things are anywhere from $20,000 to maybe $50,000. Most of those houses that you're looking at are very near the water, but not on the water. Some of them could be a little more expensive as you get closer to the water, or maybe if they're a little more desirable. But in an initial interview, I'm going to find out, do you want to be on the beachfront, or are you comfortable being 2 or 3 lots back, or maybe somewhere even in the first block. And then from that, we'll kind of determine a budget of what you're targeting, and then I can overload you with all the options that I'm aware of in every town along the coast. So that picture you're pulling up right there, that's a house. We're super proud of that one. We just got word on Friday of this week that house has been selected as the best in class in Mississippi.
Wow.
For new constructions by the Mississippi Home Builders Association, 5,000 to 6,000 square foot range. So
wow,
we're officially an award-winning builder now. That house has taken the title for 2025 House of the Year, actually. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. So are people even in the ballpark if they want to spend $600,000, or they need to have $1 million, or what kind of price range? Because again, the reason why I ask is because the Thrive Nation, we have so many people that will hear an interview, maybe I'm on an interview with Robert Kiyosaki or something, and then they head on over to the website and they start looking into, different clients, and they like to look you guys up. And I know a lot of people are looking right now to flee or to move away from some crazy states and to kind of relocate to a community that's maybe a little more relaxing than downtown Chicago or New York City or Los Angeles. What kind of a price range, or do you even have a price range for what you do? I know what you do is very custom and you're very flexible with people, but is there any kind of price range people need to be in to at least have the conversation?
Absolutely. So our absolute sweet spot that we build the overwhelming majority of the homes is that $600,000 to $700,000 range. Certainly, there's we get a great opportunity on occasion to build $1 million or $1.5 million whatever, massive houses. But in this market, 600,000, 700,000 is building an exceptionally nice custom home on or near the water, depending on exactly where. So that's a sweet spot that I don't know many places in the nation that can offer the type of homes that we're showing pictures of on those galleries in the $700,000 range.
Now, as far as the actual state that you're located in and the communities that you're located in, could you tell us about the state? And I'm not asking you to compare it to, like, let's say New York or Chicago, but frankly, we have a lot of listeners that listen to our show from New York and, Illinois and all different, Minnesota, these kind of places. What's the life like down there in Mississippi?
So, I tell clients all the time, we get a lot of move-in traffic, people coming here from other areas. It's just a large part of what we do. And jokingly in the office for probably 15 years, I've told this to everybody that I've ever met with, is that everyone wants to move to Mississippi. They just don't always know it yet. And people laugh in the room, but from about 2019 forward, it became true. Like, I would meet with people that were seeking out the areas, like, man, we've been wanting to move to Mississippi for 10 years and it's finally coming. So, I spoke it into existence with just jokingly, like, oh, everybody wants to move to Mississippi. They don't necessarily know it yet, but they do. Now it's kind of, most of the people, man, we build houses for people moving from Texas, moving from Florida, certainly moving from, northeastern states. The retirement community, we have one of the best retirement states in the nation is Mississippi. Mississippi has skyrocketed up the education. We've always been the laughing stock of the nation, worst in every category. Over the last 4 or 5 years, we've went to like in the top 10 education for primary education, amazingly. The governor's just made some major moves to eliminate the state income tax. Mississippi's on fire. So it really is alive and well. Yeah. We've always been a great kept secret down here on the coast. But again, for 600,000 or 700,000, you can come retire here or have a second home or whatever. Very laid back, a little bit slower. I talk a little bit funny, but we're doing good with it. We could live anywhere we wanted to live, and I would not live anywhere besides here. So
I'm going to pull this up here because, again, just your houses are so gorgeous to look at. I mean, this is a beautiful house. Why are the houses on stilts, for those that maybe are not familiar with the kind of construction that is very common in this area of the United States?
Right. So, unfortunately, Hurricane Katrina put a massive amount of flood surge in here, like what they call the 100-year storm. And with that, FEMA took the opportunity to rewrite the flood maps, and they really taxed us pretty heavy on the requirements of the elevation above sea level to be able to insure homes. So unfortunately, we're kind of stuck with that. We've always built elevated homes, but they really added a lot of extra footage to the height of them. So like that home right there, it's about 18 foot above the ground, but that puts it at like 24 foot above sea level. And unfortunately, that's just what has to be built here. But like with that house, you can see we've learned to maximize that. We built a whole nother deck in the middle of it. Right. So we kind of cut it in half. Yeah. You really get a bonus living space in the middle that, we learned how to make some lemonade out of that big pile of lemons. So
now, are you putting in a water slide here off the side? What is this? Is this a crane?
That's a crane building a neighboring house in the back.
Sure. To me, it looks like a water slide. I don't know.
I should probably put a water slide feature on some of these houses. They're high enough. The kids would love it.
Now, let's focus in on the brass tacks of the business, because for a second, I mean this, I'm not just saying this to just say this, folks. Whenever you work with someone in business, as we have the opportunity to work with you, you get a chance to see what someone's all about. And as an example, you guys have some really, really nice testimonials from some really great people. And when you interview people and ask them about the experience of working with you, people have great things to say, because you really do try to treat people the way that you want to be treated. Let's talk about the Thornhill construction philosophy on treating customers, because again, I'm telling you, I'm not going to name names, but I have worked with some home builders over the years, and I say, hey, Mr. Home Builder, as a business coach, I need you to get at least 5 video testimonials. And they'll go, that's not going to be possible. And I say, how come you can't get 5? You've been in business for 25 years. And they go, well, We just don't have a lot of people that are happy with us. I think you really do. I mean, in your business, you really do have an opportunity to wow people and make people lifetime referral sources, lifetime testimonials. And you guys have really done that. And again, if you go to Google right now, folks, and you're doing a search for this particular region, you go onto Google, you say, what do you mean go onto Google? If you're in Google right now, folks, and you're just doing a search right now because you're saying, hey, I'm looking to buy a house in the Bay, St. Louis, Mississippi area, you go to Google, you type it in, boom, you're going to find your website right there. You're going to find those reviews from happy customers. Can you talk to us real quick? What's your philosophy about wowing your customers? Or maybe a better way to ask is, how have you been able to wow customers for so many years? Because really, your customers have great things to say about you.
Here's our philosophy, and I've probably never summed it up as a philosophy, but this is how we see it. So my wife and I raised all 4 of our children in this town. We raised them in a Catholic education setting, and it's a very small town, and everybody tends to know everyone, or at least know somebody that knows you or of you. So with raising a bunch of kids, my name is on the sign, my name is on the company name, and we're all about town. So maybe not every street, but a lot of the streets you turn on, you see a Thornhill construction sign. So you can't hide from that. You go to the Old Town area where everybody's shopping or dining or buying groceries or whatever it might be. And me or any of my kids are now 7 grandkids, all wearing the Thornhill name. You have to be able to do what you say. You have to be able to stand behind what you said you were going to do. And now in 20 years building, let's say we've built 10 houses a year for 20 years. There's a lot of houses out there that have the Thornhill name behind them. And we're exceptionally proud of that. But we also know in a small community, the word of mouth marketing is drastically larger than I can do with anything with billboards or radio or television, or, there's no substitute for, oh, you built my neighbor's house, or you built right there across the street. I know that guy, and I go to church with that guy, or my daughter went to school with your daughter, and now we're ready to build a house. So just the close-knit community, the small area, there's no hiding, so you shouldn't even bother to try. Just doing what you say you're going to do and trying to do the best job, because we live in the same area, and we're neighbors, and we're friends, and we're not going anywhere. And we want to be comfortable when we go out, not like, pulling our hat down low. Man, I hope that guy doesn't see me. I owe him something, or I didn't do what I said I was going to do. So we just don't want that. My wife doesn't want that. I don't want that. I don't want my kids to feel that way in any setting that they're in. So it's been simple. We just do what we said we were going to do and do it to the best of our ability. So
now I've got 3 final questions for you. Okay. Question number 1 is for anybody out there looking in the area to buy, again, for anybody watching this show, I talk to so many people that say, Clay, my wife and I, we've contemplated moving from the upper Northeast, from Minnesota, from Wisconsin. We're thinking about moving somewhere in the South. Do you have a good home builder? So I always tell people, look, yes, we do. But for anybody out there that doesn't know about your business, what makes your business different from other home builders? Or maybe why should everybody at least check out your company?
We specialize in the details, the hard stuff. There's ways to make things just get skimmed over, and then there's the details that really make your house separate from other. We're not a mass production home builder that builds 300 of one hall, 300 of one house. Everything is unique. Most of what we get the opportunity to build are people's dream homes. So they've thought a lot about this house, and they really need to place it in somebody's hands that is going to really care about the details and the small things. So we've kind of built our whole system around each project having a project manager, a selections coordinator, myself to oversee it, where we're plugged into what your needs are and making those dreams come true, instead of just a production builder that you get what we get. You get what we give, and I hope you like it. And if you don't, okay, you still get what I give. We just don't approach it like that. Every single one of them are unique and different and special for that person. So.
Now, final 2 questions I have for you. You and I work together in a business setting where my team meets with you, our team. We have Brett work with you, Aaron works with you, and our goal is to help you grow your business. And I know, as a guy who's grew up you and I have similar backgrounds, starting out as an entrepreneur at a young age, there were so many consultants that would send me a bill every time I called them, every time I emailed them, every time I had a question. And I always wanted to have a service that I could work with to help me grow my business that would be a flat rate service. Could you explain from your perspective what it's like to have people like Brett, people like Aaron, people like myself that are working with you every month to help you generate more leads, knowing that it is a flat rate?
I can. So the first time you and I discussed this, you told me, hey, this is the rate, this is what I'm going to charge, and that's it. That's what the rate's going to be. And for that, I think you sent me a list and said, here's a myriad of services that we feel like we can provide for that rate. You won't need them all every month. Sometimes you'll need more of them. Sometimes you'll need less of them. And as a business owner, I have a lot of ideas regularly. I'm in the shower and I think of something, and I'll get with Brett or get with Aaron. Aaron and Joe, his brother, mostly now, and I got different ideas every week. And some of them are good. Some of them are like, man, we've tried that. You don't want to do that. So, but when I have something, I don't have the staff to implement those ideas necessarily. Your staff and Aaron's staff seems to be big enough that when I have an idea, we can flush it out really rapidly. And if it's something that we feel like might have some legs, that's part of what you guys do for us. Write some additional SEO for me. I've never written a word of it. I don't even know where to begin. But when I say, hey, we need to target this area and this keyword, let's grow this market, these guys just do it. And the bill doesn't change. The bill's, we already agreed on the bill. This is the bill. That's what it's going to be. So I budget for that annually, and it's just automated. I don't think I've looked at it one time since we set it up years ago. That's just, you got the digits, make it run. But here's my ideas, and what are your ideas? And let's pick some and go after it.
And my final question I have here for you is, I know you raised your kids in Catholic school. I have a Christian background. That's my worldview. And in the Christian faith, there's this word called shalom, which I'm obsessed with, which in Hebrew, it means a win-win. So it means that you, as the customer, should win. If you buy a home from Thornhill Construction, you should experience a win. And then his company should make a win, meaning his company makes a profit, you get a home that you love. Could you talk about maybe the win-win relationship that you and I've had, or that our companies have had working together? Because I know from my perspective, I proudly work behind the scenes for your business because I believe in what you do. Could you talk about the win-win, or maybe a few of the wins you might have seen over the last couple of years?
I can. Having somebody that I trust to keep me accountable has been a massive win for me, because I tend to get busy and chasing the new idea. And although there may be some new ideas that I come up with along the way, it takes time to flesh out some of this stuff and get it to become a system or become a practice that the whole team buys into. So probably the biggest win-win for me is having a scheduled, accountable session where, hey man, here's your list of what you got to get done, and we're going to be meeting again Tuesday at 1:00. So get that done. And I trust that when I put something on y'all's list, it's also going to be done before we meet again at Tuesday at 1:00, when we're going to plop down in front of a computer and you're going over your notes and I'm going over my notes, and I've got check marks by my things. And I've never had to once, wonder, I wonder if they're working on that. I wonder if they're going to have their part knocked out before we meet again. So it's done. So the win for me is we have something steady. We're growing the business together, not just when we can, maybe we'll make time to do this, because, small business owners know you're busy with running the business, and whatever comes up, every time the phone rings, it's, you're getting torn in a different direction. But we know that, I have to have certain things done each week to be able to do my side. And I know that you guys are going to have your stuff done before we meet again. So with that, I can count on that. And just having something you can count on in business is maybe on the more rare side than on the standard side. So
well,
we enjoy that.
I'm glad to see that you're growing. And I talked to somebody, I'm going, where do you live now? Where are you from? And it's just it's fun knowing that there's a high quality home builder down there that everybody can trust. And again, folks, I'll put a link to thornhillconstruction.com on the show notes. But if you're out there today and you're thinking about migrating somewhere south for a beautiful home, look at the homes, folks. They have an incredible gallery of homes they've built over the years. That's thornhillconstruction.com. And a little search engine tip, folks. If you want to help Jason Thornhill rank higher in search results, and I know you do, just go to social media and post a link to thornhillconstruction.com. Just post a link to thornhillconstruction.com. It'll help Jason's website rank a little bit higher. And Jason Thornhill, thank you so much for carving out time for us. And it's an honor to serve you, and I can't wait to talk to you soon.
Awesome, man. Take care. Appreciate it.
Take care. Bye.
All right.
Hi, I'm Donna Drake, and this is my husband, Tom Drake. And we had the pleasure of having our house built by Jason Thornhill in 2018 in Beach Vista subdivision past Christiane.
We chose Thornhill Construction because I have a number of friends in the area, and we talked to other builders, and he was the best guy with the best reputation for fine finishing work.
We also got to take a look at several of his ongoing in-process jobs as well as a finished job over in Waveland, and we're so impressed with that floor plan that we went from that angle and made it larger. Generally, our first step with Jason and his staff were to have an initial office meeting in their building, in which they explained the process to us and how it would work, which we felt very, very helpful. We questioned the time frame since we had to move in the following summer, living in Denver, Colorado, and he assured us that could be done, given that he didn't have too many rain days. He had an excellent staff, which we noticed right away. Libby Galloway was so helpful with the interior, and as the project went on, we realized that Rich Green was an incredibly valuable member of his team, always said what he was going to do and showed up. Libby actually walked me through in one of my 3 visits after that to a cabinet store and helped me pick out cabinets and tile, and I don't think I could have done it as quickly and as efficiently if it weren't for her knowledge. And she literally drove me and helped me make my decisions. Well, for me, some of the things that he really came through on were some Pinterest pictures that I had found and just fell in love with, and I really wanted them incorporated in my house. And that was the fireplace, which he absolutely made identical, and the shiplap and the stairwell were exactly what I was looking for. It really impressed me that he could come through working with just a picture off a Pinterest program, but he did it. How about you?
Well, I like the porches. We've got wraparound porches, and we've got a very nice view of the Gulf, and that is a place I can go hang out and have some peace and quiet.
We love the porches.
We love the porches. Jason was really consistent about being on time and getting things done in a timely manner. It wasn't drug out, and he was working with us when we were living in Colorado. So he really reached out to us to make this work.
We really would recommend Thornhill. We have no problems. As a matter of fact, we've had people ask us if they can see our house, and we proudly show it off to them, and they say, yeah, I think I'm going to go with Thornhill. So we know that he's grown since the days he did ours, and he's doing great, and we wish him all the luck in the world. We love our house.
I've been building a couple of houses on my own, and they never came out like this. He really goes above and beyond to make the finishing work perfect, the cabinetry, and just the entire project was a joy.
And he has the best staff you could ever want to work with.
I'm Kim Henry.
I'm Rustin Henry, and we first met Jason in, was it January of 2024, actually.
Yes.
Our real estate agent spoke highly of him, and we did a lot of research of this area, and everybody we talked to, they talked pretty favorable about him.
We own lots of property, but we never built on any of it. We bought it already, existing construction. So
The thing about it is, like, It was our first time building a home.
Right.
And Jason made it easy. I mean, him and his people, Libby, they kind of talk you through everything and this is exactly what you want. We had an idea of what we wanted, but we found a floor plan that kind of worked, and we brought it to Jason, and then we went back and forth with revisions here and there, and he was pretty much hands-on, like, hey, we could do this, or we can't do this within a certain code. So he made the experience a lot more easy.
My favorite thing about the process was just the peace of mind. Like being in an industry where you do get permits and all that paperwork and legal stuff generally is the source of a lot of delays. It was good knowing that somebody did it and we didn't have to do it. Really, that for me, that was huge. Just going and getting this, filing this for the city to get the gas, that part. And I think, Thornhill does a good job doing that,
My favorite part about the process was that the workmanship was never in question. Jason has really good people, and like I say, we've owned rental property, we've done renovations in the past, and I could spot good work from bad, and the workmanship he does on his houses is really, really good, high grade.
And even for us renovating after Katrina, you don't really know what's current, like the current trends in home building and stuff. And I think Jason and Libby and Justin, they all kept us like, well, people aren't really doing that anymore. So that was helpful too, because we haven't built anything really substantive outside of business related residential stuff for what, probably 20 years? Yeah. Almost 20 years. So,
And another thing that was good, he knew the landscape down there. So instead of having some builders coming who's not familiar with that, Jason knows the landscape of the bureaucracy, the permitting, what's allowed, what's not allowed, and that made the process a lot easier.
Right.
They take you from start to finish. They're very amenable. The thing I like about Jason, he's reachable. Him and his people, if you can't reach up with him, you'll reach up with his supervisors and people now. And at every step in the way, they're available for you. So nobody's a professional builder. So when you have questions, you explain, this is why we're doing this is why we're doing that, and this is why we're doing this. So, you're not in the dark, and he keeps you abreast the whole way. Well, one thing about it, even after we got our certificate of occupancy, Thornhill Construction was available for any little small knick-knack stuff you have. And a lot of people, once they give you that certificate of occupancy, they say, we're finished with it. So Jason is not only just a contractor, we regard him as a friend.
Right, yeah. We were in a bar. Remember the lady in the bar? We were in a bar and the lady goes, oh my God, you built the house? She said, my contractor had me in tears every week. I was like, well, what were you all doing? She said it was just such a frustrating process. And I say for us, I don't ever find that it was frustrating. It might have been, oh my God, I got to go pick out a light fixture, and I didn't really feel like doing that. But it wasn't like, tears? Did we ever have tears? I never cried. No.
One other thing.
That's what she said.
One other thing with Thornhill Construction, they give you an option. They give you a budget of items that you have to get, and if you can pick them out your own self, that's fine. So that gives you the flexibility of saying, hey, we want this or we don't that. We want this, and then you see where your dollar's going. So if you pick out the refrigerator that is 10 feet wide and 10 feet tall, and it costs you much, you know where it's going to. So, and then his people are along the way, they're going to say, hey, look, that's going to put you over budget. So, hey, and as always, if you tell him I want to stay on budget, he's going to try to do his best to make sure you stay on budget. Thank you very much for a very pleasurable experience, and thank you for helping my wife's dream house come true.
Awesome, man. It was our pleasure. It was a joy working with you guys. You got an awesome place. We love showing it off, and we hope you get to enjoy it for many years.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
But that Clay Clark, man, he is one character.
It's a good word for him. Character. Yeah, that is it.
Good, driven, smart. And I've never met a guy who was so hyper all the time. He's doing so much good. And then I met his mother,
and she just lets him be Clay Clark. I mean, so he's endorsed by his mother, and he's doing magnificent work. So it was great meeting you out there and all the people that he surrounds himself with. Clay Clark starts his days at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
Yeah. But I have problems with my company starting at 9 o'clock. Yes, hundreds of people showing up at 5 a.m. in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, he's a leader of a leader. He's a fantastic young man.
No, he is. He is.
Clay Clark has worked his butt off. I mean that over the last 3 years, putting on. I can't tell you how hard this guy has worked, and I really mean this. This is the last Reawaken event probably ever. I don't know. Maybe if one of us run one of these days, Clay will bring it back. Come here, Clay. Come here. He is the hardest working, nicest guy who's gone all across the country. He's gone into the Lion's Den in places that you wouldn't believe. And there's other people up here. Everybody up on this stage has been at a lot of these events. General Flynn, everybody. But we've had some of the greatest experiences you could possibly imagine. We've gone to areas that Republicans have never, ever gone to before. We got attacked in Portland by Antifa. I mean, we have some crazy stories. And he never, ever, ever once backed down. And so, Clay, on behalf of everybody that believes in Make America Great Again, on behalf of our entire family, on behalf of an entire country of patriots, people who love red, white, and blue, people who believe in faith, people who believe in our Constitution, people who believe in free speech, we love you, and we appreciate you, and we appreciate your family, and how much you've sacrificed, and how much you've spent. And the greatest thing that will come out of all of it, aside from winning the presidency of the United States, we'll get to that in a second, was an everlasting friendship between Clay and I, because I'm telling you, there's not too many people in the world that have this man's backbone and his tenaciousness and his perseverance. And so, buddy, I love you. And to General Flynn, thank you. You guys are incredible. You guys are incredible warriors. You guys are incredible, incredible warriors. So, thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4,000% from February to February. Now, I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So we're pinching ourselves, actually.
Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you. So congratulations.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you. So congratulations.
Sean, guess what's happening? April 9th and 10th, 2026.
We are probably going to have an amazing business conference here at Tulsa, Jerusalem.
Yes, we're joined by Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is going to be joining us right here at the Thrivetime Show World Headquarters, June 5th and 6th. He's a very successful football player, obviously a Heisman Award winner, but he's also a very successful entrepreneur. Now, when you work with real clients, Sean, clients you really work with to help them grow their companies, do you ever hear a business owner tell you that they didn't have time to get something done?
every day.
How often is not having enough time a problem for business owners?
All the time. It's like maybe 90% of the issues as people are trying to grow their company.
Well, Tim Tebow is going to come join us here at the in-person Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop, and he's going to teach us time management and his approach to personal self-discipline and getting things done. Also at the workshop, I'll put up on the website so people can see it here. Also at the 2-day interactive workshop, Sean, we are going to be, there it is. We're going to be teaching accounting, systems creation, marketing, human resources, how to hire, inspire, train, and retain great people, accounting, social media advertising, search engine optimization. Sean, what's the area where most clients ask you for help the most? Is it generating leads? Is it hiring people? What's the biggest issue that most business owners have by default before they come to one of our workshops?
Well, I think it's management, because time is the most valuable resource for these business owners, and being able to manage their time is the first thing. Once they get that under control, then generally the numbers, being able to track their business and be able to make the best decisions based on numbers rather than emotions is a big area. And we teach all of this stuff at the business conference, particularly you, Clay. You love to hammer on time management. It's my favorite part of the conference.
Now, I'm going to pull this up real quick here because we're going to go through. If you're not excited, I want to get you excited about what we're going to cover at the workshop here. Okay.
All right.
The 2-day interactive workshop. This is my 20th year hosting workshops. So I'm telling you, folks, we're in rare form here. So one is the idea of establishing your revenue goals. I think most entrepreneurs don't know their revenue goals. Would you agree, or am I off my rocker?
No, that's totally a very important point we do with every one of our new clients that come on board, is we have to establish the revenue goals. And generally speaking, we have a vague idea, but not an exact idea that can be engineered down into like the daily goals for sales. And so that's a really big one.
Now, next is the break-even numbers. What kind of sales do you have to do to even break even?
Yeah.
Third is, how many hours per week do you want to work? What is your ideal schedule as an entrepreneur? Box number 4, how do you stand out in the clutter of commerce? What makes your company unique from all the different businesses? In a world of brown cows, herds of brown cows, proverbial brown cows, the analogy of brown cows, how can you be the purple cow that stands out? How can you be the squeaky wheel that gets the oil? Box number 5, branding. How do you improve the perception that people have of you, your business, your brand? Box number 6, marketing, your 3-legged marketing stool. What is a turnkey way for you and your company to generate leads so you can succeed? Because if you don't have any leads, your business will bleed. If you can't sell, your business will go to hell. You've got to generate leads. Sean, how often do business owners by default tell you they have a hard time generating leads?
It's almost all of the time. It's really a huge struggle. And many times they may be creating leads, but just through word of mouth. So they get to a point where we've implemented systems, and then they need to create more leads, but they've never had to do it. So there's a lot of different scenarios where business owners are like, how do you create leads? Something we hammer on at the conference a lot.
Box number 7, create a sales conversion system. Again, box number 7, create a sales conversion system. Sales scripts, recorded calls, one sheets, pre-written emails, lead trackers, all of the sales tools, the sales print pieces, the one sheets, the big screens that you see inside the business. Whether you're a doctor, you're a dentist, you're a lawyer, you got to have sales systems in place. We help you with that. Box number 8, what does it cost you to get another customer? Step number 8, what does it cost you to actually acquire a customer? Step number 9, it's hard to build an organization if you're not organized. We're going to teach you how to create repeatable systems, processes, file organization. Box number 10, we're going to teach you how to manage people, real people on the planet Earth. This just in, we're going to teach you how to manage real people on the planet Earth. Box number 11, how to create a sustainable schedule that works for you and your family. Step number 12, how to create human resources systems for recruiting, hiring, training, and retaining great people. Box number 13, accounting. This just in, we have to cover accounting. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. We're going to cover all the accounting things you need to know. And step 14, finally, what is the point of even achieving success? We're going to go over what is the point of even achieving success, how to design a life that you're excited about, how to design a life where you carve out enough time for your faith, your family, your finance, your fitness, your friendship, your fun, and where you're going to spend your focused time. We're going to go through that, all this and more. Now, the workshop, Sean, it's April 9th and 10th. It's a 2-day interactive workshop.
Yes.
And tickets, we always do it. It's $250 or whatever price that someone can afford. Sean, why do we let people name their price? Why do we have scholarship tickets available if somebody can't afford the $250 general admission ticket?
Well, we don't want anybody to miss out on it. You know, you could be at a startup phase or you could be, you know, way along in your business, but we want to make it accessible for everybody. I think it actually goes back to a story of your dad, and like it goes all the way back to how you've always done this as a business coach, trying to make sure that, you know, your average people out there have access to the things that work.
Now, 7 a.m. to 5, Sean, why do we go from 7 to 5 both days? I mean, it's 10 hours a day. 20 hours of training over 2 days. Why do we do 10 hours a day, Sean, of back-to-back workshops? We do a 30-minute teaching session. We do a 15-minute question and answer session, and then we take a break. 30 minutes of teaching, 15 minutes of question and answer, then we take a break. Why do we do that format, Sean?
That format is so that we can keep people engaged and not just sitting there listening, but also getting involved. We really encourage people to ask questions, and that's really where the juiciness of the conference comes out, is you can put your personal situation and your questions on the board, and Clay will tee off and give you direct advice. Even without being in our coaching program, you can get direct coaching from Clay. It's really a very engaging format. I enjoy it a lot.
Once again, folks, this event is April 9th and 10th, 2026. Get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Once again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. Whoa. Who's our keynote speaker coming to the conference there, Sean?
Tim Tebow is our keynote speaker.
Sean, question number 3. How much does it cost to come to our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
I think it's, did you say it's $250 or whatever you can afford?
That's right, $250 or whatever you can afford. Sean, how do you spell Eric Trump backwards?
P-M-U-R-T-C-I-R-E. Ooh, that took a long time.
I'll have to listen to this. You did it right. All right, again, that's Sean Lohman. I'm Clay Clark, inviting you to come join us at the in-person Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive workshop. This event is April 9th and 10th, 2026. Get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Once again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. Right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tim Tebow, baby. It's Tebow time.
Oh, yeah.
Tulsa, Jerusalem.
You could be anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Hey guys, Luke Erickson here with the Thrivetime Show. As you can see behind me, we've got all kinds of energy going on. People are starting to show up for the conference, and it is hot in this place. We got grill guns over here. We've got people playing the drums. We've got a fire breather, and man, people are so excited as they come in. The conference is kicked off. This house is packed. We've got Aaron Hansis with Sean Holmes up there. We've got Steve Currington with Total Lifting Concepts up there talking about what is possible when you just implement, when you do the proven system. So exciting. People are going crazy. Guys, Luke Erickson with the Thrivetime Show here with you. It is day 2 and the energy is high. People are so excited to be showing up. The team is ready. Come on, let's see what it's like to go on in for day 2. Follow me.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas, and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees, and now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrivetime, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. So I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences, and amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days.
I heard about it on the podcast. Started listening to the podcast, became a fan, and then figured out about the workshop. I own an insurance and financial services agency, and I was hoping to learn from the workshop systems and processes. I'm big on systems and processes and always learning better ways to run a business more efficiently. The atmosphere's second to none. It's a high energy, really cool atmosphere to be around. Contagious, I would say. Just something every entrepreneur, I think, would appreciate and love. I'd say humorous, high energy, and full of substance, which I think is the key. A lot of business coaches or seminars maybe are high on motivation and making you feel good, but don't have a lot of substance that you can take back and implement, the following Monday, where his does. Man, there's a lot of valuable things. I'm gonna say, this is my second workshop. The first workshop I took back really the importance of a group interview. I used to spend hours and hours interviewing people, screening resumes, and that saving my time on that part is valuable. It was that and then the sales scripting that have been two major things just so far. Man, I think they're missing out on, expert advice from somebody who's been there, done that, built companies, has learned a lot of lessons. That's what I'm always looking for, is somebody that I can learn from that's ahead of where I am. And I think if you choose not to come, you're missing out on a lot of good advice that could help your business.
Hi, this is Charles and Amber Koloff. We're the owners of Koloff Fitness. We heard about Clay Clark through Paul Hood, our CPA. We've worked with Clay Clark for the last 2 years. Clay Clark has helped us take our 3 locations in 3 different states and create checklists, workflows, task lists, time blocks for every employee. He's helped us with creating systems and audits for every department, quantitative scorecards for each department and every position so that everybody has a number. It's been able to give us a lot of time freedom and financial freedom and peace of mind to know that everything's running efficiently, and he's been helpful with a lot of marketing, search engine optimization, helping us really rank high in Google, and pretty much every area of the business. It's been very, very helpful.
We would describe the experience of working with Clay as very energetic. He's full of energy. He's very encouraging, very motivating, but also accountable. So he keeps us accountable, and we love that accountability. It keeps our drive in the right direction, so we're not chasing things that aren't worth spending our time on.
Yeah, he's a great coach. He helps push us on certain areas, helps coach us in certain areas. We're all emotional creatures, and we go up and down, and he actually will tell us kind of where we're at, how we can get from there, and even emotionally, when we're stressed about something, he'll have a story to relate to, and it really helps us in every area of our business. It's been very, very helpful.
I think Clay's ability to have a whole team behind him that help him with all of his clients, all his coaching clients, is that it allows Clay to do what he's really good at, and that's working one-on-one with the client and coaching them. And then he can have his amazing staff come in and help you accomplish all these goals that you're setting.
And of course, he has all these resources, whether it's videographers or whether it's web developers, that they can quickly jump on your project, knock things out. He can quickly give you the right coaching. He's just got a whole team of people that whatever area you're lacking in your own company, he's got resources from video, web design, search engine guys who are just knowledgeable in that. Even though he knows a lot of that stuff, he's got these capable lieutenants that are ready to just take off and help you get that stuff. More stuff gets done on a weekly basis than you would on probably most than the individual or some other company. We've worked with several companies before, and it's just not as many things get done on a weekly basis, so it's been very helpful. Well, the conferences for me, I'm a slow learner, so I have to learn like over and over again, hear things over and over again. I've been to like, I think 8 different conferences, and each time you come, I learn a few new components. Some things are repetitive, but a lot of the stuff just resettles and I get a little bit more depth into each component. So, I mean, I've been to 8 of them. They're all super entertaining. He's very funny, very encouraging. You get to kind of self-reflect a lot. A lot of the stuff is really polarizing. You do a personal inventory of yourself, and you'll think like, hey, I've really got to work on this, really got to work on that. So every time you come, I still get a lot of value out of it.
And as much as every conference is the same, it's totally different. So I think we'll hear stories we haven't heard before. He'll have entertainment, or he'll have speakers he didn't have before. And you, like you said, you just always catch a different part of the material that maybe you didn't catch before, or it's worded differently.
And it's really cool because some people that you've seen like a year ago at a conference, now they're, you know, being showcased as a success story, and you get to see their website, you get to see how their stats, all their metrics have improved and the revenue improved. So it's really cool to see people that just a year ago, that of course we've been here 2 years, that just came, that I met, is now being successful. It's really encouraging to see other people, you know, accomplish that stuff. So Clay has helped us optimize our website and helped with really topping the right search engines that we need to make sure that we are very, very competitive with all of our other competitors. He's done, basically he outlines exactly what you need to be accomplishing, and he creates tasks that we have to accomplish and his team has to accomplish. And I would say over the last 2 years, we've totally ramped our website. We're topping Google in every one of our markets. We're just doing, I would say, just doing really, really good. I feel very, very confident in all of our future locations and making sure that we're in front of the ideal and likely buyer. It's very encouraging. It's important to me to know when I'm working with Clay, you know, I've been in business for a while and met with him even when I already had three businesses in 3 different states, and to know that what I share with him is staying private. He's not sending that out to anybody else. To know that when he's working with me, he's only working with no other gyms that are in direct competition with me. It's very encouraging to have somebody you can trust and rely on, that he isn't going to like somehow tell your trade secrets or give information away. Just really awesome that he's a trustworthy guy, really cares about you as a client. For us, it's been a complete mind freedom because Clay has helped us create a lot of different documents and one-sheets for every department, put quantitative scorecards to each department. And so for us, it's been very encouraging and gives us peace that when, like as an entrepreneur, it's stressful. You go to bed at night, you're worried, like, did we cover this, did we cover that? So he helps extract everything out of your brain, everything from your business, put it into document creation, put it into checklists and workflows for every person in each department, and make sure that everything's getting done every week, every month, and funnel that all into KPIs or key performance indicators that you can see on a weekly basis to make sure you're moving the needle in the right area of your company. So it's very encouraging and give you a complete mind freedom and peace to know that stuff's created so you're easy to duplicate and scale your company.
Right, and then we can spend time doing what we're really good at and just trust the system.
I honestly believe everybody needs a coach. I think we're all inherently lazy and selfish and carnal. I truly believe that humans are humans. We'd rather, if we're standing, we'd rather sit. If we're sitting, we'd rather lay down. And if we're laying down, we'd rather be asleep. So to have somebody that challenges you, have real active candor, and be honest with you on every aspect of your company is really, really encouraging to me, because I want to know, I want to work on what we're weak at. I want to see any areas that we're not doing well in, and see his perspective from a third party, because you can look at your own business and just see the good. It's good to have somebody who does this, who's done this with hundreds of companies, really look at your company, reflect on your company, and see like little chinks in the armor to make sure you cover that up so your competition can't get to you, and that you're successful overall in the big picture. So yes, I would recommend Clay Clark because he is a great friend, a great encourager. To me, he's been a wonderful friend. He's also, you can tell he cares, and he has this wealth of knowledge. He's worked with so many different companies and different businesses. He could take a concept that he's used before in the past with somebody totally different industry and see how it would work perfectly for you in whatever niche market you're in or whatever type of service you're providing. And so his brain is just a wealth of knowledge, and just to have that type of perspective on, as a part of your team and your own company is huge, super valuable. So I would definitely encourage people to use him. But one thing is, you got to be coachable. You got to be wanting to get feedback. You got to be wanting to really grow your company. You got to want to put that extra 10 hours a week to working on your business and not just in your business. And so, yes, I would recommend it to anybody who's wanting to grow their company and provide great systems, checklists, workflows, great encouragement, and have accountability.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us, and it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builders shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads, going from 10 a month to 180 a month. That would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it, because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love the building relationships, but one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things. The processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due. And Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
Clay, my honor to be on your show, and thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects, you know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you, so congratulations.
And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. Hi, I'm Kelsey with K&D's Woodruff Finishing, business owner at 23. So I've been working this K&D's company for about 5 years now, and we started working with Thrive not too long ago. And And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. That's what we're going to hit or exceed. So we're pretty excited about that. It's been pretty much just listening to what they have to say. Their hiring process has just really been incredible as far as finding good quality help, and the just the accountability of meeting up with them weekly, and like such good insight, the resources that they have for specific business questions. It's all been really incredible. It's been a great experience, so I would recommend it to anybody.
What I've seen from Clay and his group at Thrive is they'll give you a simple system, and it's the simple systems are the ones that people can wrap their brain around. They're the ones that people can work with on a day-to-day basis.
Hi there, my name is Stephanie Pipkin. I am 24 years old and I own Black River Falls Cleaning Services. We opened in April of 2019 and it is now mid-June of 2020. So I wanted to talk today about the success and growth I have achieved by implementing the Proven Path with Clay Clark's team and my business coach Luke from Thrivetime. It has been insane to say the least. I started working with them in mid-February of this year, so we're about 4 months in of working together, and it has completely transformed my business in pretty much every facet. So I'm gonna check my notes here. So in 4 months, my leads have tripled. I was getting probably like 2 leads a week. Now I'm getting more in the like 10 to 15 leads a week. I have doubled my number of employees. I'm now hitting the highest revenue weeks in the history of the company, week to week it seems like. We went from about 6 appointments today as our highest in February to now 14 to 15 appointments a day. And hiring quality employees has become much simpler and less stressful by using their systems for hiring. I typically only get maybe 2 complaints a month, if that, and everybody shows up to work. I just have really high quality employees now, especially in something people typically consider a high turnover type of work, you know, cleaning houses, cleaning businesses. I have amazing employees now, and I get rid of the ones who are not so amazing and bring on new ones because of, you know, group interviews and interviewing every single week. It's just been great, and such I don't waste as much time on low quality candidates anymore. And your coach will hold you accountable. I mean, which I love. Again, the tough love is really great. You know, Luke's like a stern father figure, but he's also nice, but also stern when he needs to be, when I'm being lazy and not doing the things that I know I need to do because I don't want to do them. So that's just great. Worth every penny. I mean, I'd pay him $1 million a month if I can, and maybe someday I'll be able to, but I would just say go for it. If it seems like a good fit, just go for it. Do what they say, even if you think it's stupid or ridiculous. Just do what they say because it'll work. You know, people, when they look at my business, you know, people in my town, they think I'm lucky. They think I'm just, you know, things just happen for me. And, you know, maybe I am lucky, but it has a lot to do with hard work and, you know, perseverance and, you know, working till you cry sometimes. That's just being an entrepreneur, which if you're a business owner, you understand that. But it's having these systems in place of, you know, of course I'm going to be successful. It's an absolute because I have all this stuff in the background happening, and I have Luke and Clay and everybody on their team working really hard to make sure that I'm a success. And I can tell that they are just so excited every single week when I'm having all these wins and things like that. They're so excited for me. So it's the best thing ever, and I would suggest to anybody to work with them. So sorry for the long-winded reply, but I just had so much to say, and I could go on for hours probably about how amazing they are. But thank you to Clay and Luke and the entire team there, everything you guys have done for me, and I am so excited to continue to work with you for years to come. Thanks so much for watching.
My saying is, if it's important to you, hire a coach. And I think that's one of the reasons people are not successful is they eat a cheeseburger instead of hiring a coach, you know what I mean? And so my coach pushes me. They're younger than me. They push harder. They're trained. And as my rich dad always said, you know, amateurs don't have a coach, but professionals always have coaches. So I've always had coaches for whatever is important. You know, my rich dad was one of those persons I wanted to learn how to play Monopoly in real life. So he was my coach.